Hello and welcome to tonight's bedtime story about a brave and resilient woman named Josefina Guerrero. Before we begin, find a comfortable position. Let your body settle into the quiet softness of your bed, your mattress, and pillows. Feel the quiet stillness of the room around you. The world outside is fading, its sounds and worries growing distant. Here, in this peaceful space, there is only the gentle rhythm of your own breath, a steady, calm, and constant guide. Let's take a slow, deep breath in. Draw the calm air deep into your lungs, filling every part of you. Hold it for a moment, and as you exhale, release any tension, any worry from the day. Just let it all go. Feel your shoulders soften, your muscles relax, as your mind begins to quiet, as if a gentle fog is rolling in to blur the edges of your thoughts. Now, imagine you are standing on a quiet shore, under a sky that is just beginning to fill with the soft colors of twilight. The air is warm and still, carrying the scent of salt and sweet tropical flowers. And the water that laps at the shore is a deep sapphire, turning to turquoise where it meets the sand. The sound of the waves is a soft, rhythmic whisper, a quiet shush, a soothing sound that lulls you. The first stars begin to appear, tiny pinpricks of light in the deepening blue. As the quiet darkness settles over the water, we will journey back in time to the island nation of the Philippines, a place of lush landscapes and gentle dreams. This is the story of a woman named Josefina Guerrero, known to many as Joey, born in Lucban, Quezon in the early 20th century. Her parents died early, and she was taken in by a religious convent. As a child, she loved art, poetry, and music, and was entranced by the story of Joan of Arc. She would often play, imagining she was a great heroine, brave, and full of quiet purpose. After her time of illness with tuberculosis, she was sent to live with her grandparents and then to a convent in Manila for her education. She was known to be lively and excelled in sports and the arts. At the age of 16, she married a medical student, Renato Maria Guerrero. They had a daughter, and for a while, her life was a gentle current flowing toward a peaceful future with her new family. The house they made together was a place of quiet tranquility. But the world and her life would soon change. In 1941, she was diagnosed with Hansen's disease, also known as leprosy, an illness deeply feared and misunderstood. The stigma of the disease was so great that it caused her husband to move out, and she was separated from her young daughter. She felt utterly alone in the silence that was colder than any winter. But it was in this profound stillness that she decided on a new path. She remembered the girl who had dreamed of being a heroine, and she resolved that if she were to be lost to her disease, she would die with honor while fighting for her country. This resolve served as a powerful catalyst, transforming her emotional brokenness into a source of unshakable strength. With this new resolve, a quiet strength took hold of her spirit. Josefina sought out the Allied intelligence operatives who moved in the shadows. When they saw her, a small, quiet woman, they hesitated, thinking her too fragile for such a task. Her voice, however, held a quiet certainty, and she spoke of her deep patriotism and her unshakable will. They gave her a mission that seemed to fit her quiet nature. She became a courier, a secret messenger, moving through the occupied land. Her role was not one of loud heroics, but of silent, methodical observation. She would sit by her window for hours, a quiet, almost invisible presence. From there, she would observe the Japanese soldiers, memorizing their movements, the color of their uniforms, the number of their units, and even the condition of their uniforms to surmise their activities. She was a silent observer, a person who moved through the world unnoticed, a calm and focused presence in a world of turmoil. As her illness progressed, the lesions on her skin became more and more visible. At first, she hid them, but she soon realized they were a strange and powerful shield. When she approached checkpoints, the Japanese soldiers, who would roughly search all other Filipinos, would look upon her and recoil. The disease they feared gave her an unexpected advantage. She would simply lift her veil and in a quiet voice declare herself unclean. The soldiers, in their panic and revulsion, would wave her through, leaving her to continue her journey, untouched and unseen. She became a master of this quiet movement. She would move through the bustling chaos of the city, a peaceful ghost. She carried her secret messages in her hair, woven into the braids, in the folds of her clothing, and even between her socks. She would pass through the heavily guarded checkpoints, her heart filled with a profound and peaceful irony. The same condition that had made her an outcast to her own people now made her an invisible and untouchable heroine to her country. She was a silent, peaceful storm moving through the land, delivering hope in a way no one else could. Her duties also expanded to other quiet, methodical tasks. On one occasion, she was tasked with hiding a truckload of crude explosives, which she carefully concealed at her home in the quiet middle of the night, the silent guardian of a dangerous secret. Another time, she noticed a single soldier ducking into a hole near a university, and with quiet observation, she realized he was part of a secret tunnel system, a crucial piece of information that she dutifully passed on to the resistance. She also created maps of Japanese gun emplacements and fortifications, which were used by the Americans in their successful assault of Manila Harbor in September 1944. Now, imagine her on her most important journey. In January 1945, she was tasked with her most dangerous mission: to bring a map of Japanese minefields to American headquarters. A map that would allow her country's allies to walk a path to peace, to the end of the long occupation. The map was a simple piece of paper, but it held the weight of many lives. She taped it carefully between her shoulder blades, a precious and quiet burden, and set off on her long walk. She was told to go to confession before she left, as her handlers did not expect her to survive. The journey was a pilgrimage of endurance. For 25 miles, she walked with a quiet purpose, her footsteps a gentle rhythm on the rural roads. Imagine the landscape around her: endless rice paddies, a vibrant green stretching to the horizon, the water in the fields shimmering like liquid glass under the bright sun. The air was hot and smelled of earth and growing things. She was in a rural landscape, a place of quiet villages and farms. She walked past scenes of agricultural life, a gentle reminder of the peace she was helping to restore. Her feet carrying the weight of a better future. Her head ached and her body ached with fatigue, but her mind was steady. When the road became impassable, she found a boat in the Pampanga River, a wide, winding stream that flowed gently through the land, its banks lined with lush greenery and the occasional quiet village. On the water, her journey took on a different rhythm: the gentle rocking of the boat, the soft sound of the water against the hull, the flow of the current, the sound of her oars dipping into the water and lifting back up again and again, like a slow and steady breath. The river seemed to whisper to her, encouraging her onward, its steady flow, a gentle lullaby. She kept her eyes on the distant, beautiful mountain ranges, their peaks softened by a light haze. She watched as the lush, tropical landscapes gave way to serene riverside districts, their agricultural lands and villages a testament to the quiet lives she was fighting to protect. After leaving the river, she walked on. The fatigue in her legs was a deep, quiet ache, a testament to her unending effort. But she did not stop. She simply kept moving, one foot in front of the other, through the rural landscape of Hagonoy and Kalumpit, under the wide blue sky. The map taped to her back felt like a part of her now, a quiet promise of a peaceful future for her people. She walked on, her mind a blank canvas, her focus on the simple, rhythmic act of putting one foot in front of the other, each step bringing her closer to her destination. When she finally reached her destination, exhausted and weary, she delivered the map to the U.S. Army's 6th Infantry Division. This heroic act provided crucial intelligence that helped secure the liberation of the Philippines. During the Battle of Manila, she also assisted by tending to wounded soldiers and civilians and carrying children to safety, all while avoiding flying bullets. For her service, she was awarded the Medal of Freedom with a silver palm in 1947, a rare and prestigious honor. Her journey continued long after the war. For a time, she was sent to a place of great suffering, an institution for people with her illness. The conditions were deplorable, and many had lost hope. But even in this difficult place, Josefina's quiet strength remained. She found her purpose in quiet, meditative acts of service. She cleaned the facilities with a peaceful resolve, her hands moving over the surfaces until they shone. She helped the nurses, tended to the sick, and even built simple, peaceful coffins for those who passed away. An act of silent compassion. Her spirit was like a gentle flame, bringing a little light to the darkness around her. She wrote a letter, her pen moving quietly over the paper, describing the dire conditions of the San Lazaro leprosarium. It was a small, quiet act of hope, a whisper sent out into the world. That small whisper reached a journalist who turned it into a powerful exposé, which eventually led to a government investigation and the renovation of the facility, proving that even the quietest voice can change the world. She heard of a place in a distant country, a peaceful sanctuary where people with her condition could find hope and healing. She fought for her right to travel there. Her quiet determination, a steady force against the obstacles in her path. And after much quiet perseverance, she was finally granted her wish. The journey to the U.S. Marine Hospital in Carville, Louisiana, was a hopeful one, a pilgrimage toward rest and recovery. The years of treatment were a period of quiet healing, of slow and steady progress. She received the recognition she deserved for her heroism, honored again in the United States. But after a lifetime of public struggle and quiet heroism, her heart longed for something else entirely. A simple, peaceful life, free from the weight of her past. She faced continued prejudice even after she was cured, as potential employers would shun her once they learned of her history. With the quiet support of military figures and journalists, she was finally granted permanent residency and U.S. citizenship, a final step toward securing her place in a country where she had once been an outsider. In the final, beautiful act of finding peace, she later remarried and changed her name. She found her truest rest not in public accolades, but in the quiet, private life she had created for herself. Free from the burdens of her history, finally at peace with her past. Her journey was a winding path from a quiet dreamer to a quiet warrior, and finally to a quiet soul at peace. She showed that true strength is not in the noise of battle, but in the stillness of the heart. Her story is a testament that after a long journey, after all the struggles and triumphs, the greatest victory is simply to find a place of quiet rest. Now, as the story of Josefina comes to a close, let her quiet strength fill your heart and mind. Her journey was a path toward peace, and so is yours tonight. Let the sound of the ocean, the feel of the soft sand, and the image of a sky filled with stars soothe you. You are at peace. There is nothing left to do now but to sink deeper into the soft comfort of your bed. Let the memory of Josefina's quiet journey guide you now to a place of deep rest. Good night.